Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome. So in today's video, I want to show you guys a super easy and delicious recipe I made a couple months ago for a breakfast burrito. And basically there's a lot of vegetables in this. It's actually really good for you, and that's great if you're someone like me who forgets to eat vegetables a lot of the time. But this breakfast burrito recipe, I actually make it around 2 to 3 times a week. I really enjoy it, and it's just a great way to start my day off with some healthy food and get all the nutrients that I need. So here's a quick little sneak peek for you guys, but with that, let's get started. Alright, so I usually like to start off by washing and chopping up all of the vegetables first. Today I'll be using a handful of grape tomatoes, and since they're already so small in size, I just cut them in half, but if you're using a regular sized tomato, go ahead and dice them up. Next, grab a couple of mushrooms. First, you're going to want to cut off the stems as we won't be using those, and once you've done that, you can mince them. You can leave the mushrooms in bigger pieces if you like, but I personally think the flavor of the mushrooms comes out a lot better when I cut them up smaller. Now it's time to prep the eggs before heading to the stove. As a rule of thumb, I like to use 1 egg per person, so this recipe would make for 2 servings. Crack the eggs, add a little bit of salt and pepper, and begin mixing the yolk and egg whites so they're scrambled together. As a side note, I usually go easy on the salt because you can always add more later, but once you make it too salty, there's really nothing you can do to fix it. Plus, we'll be adding some garlic salt at the end, so keep that in mind too. Once you've prepped all the ingredients, it's time to move to the stove. I usually start on medium-high to get the pan warmed up faster, and the first thing I do is add a little bit of oil. Today, I decided to use vegetable oil, but you can use olive oil or anything else you might prefer. Spread the oil around the pan and give it a moment to heat up. Once the oil and pan are fairly hot, go ahead and add the mushrooms. I like to put the mushrooms on first since they take the longest to really cook, and I find that it brings out their flavor really nicely too. Next, after you've let the mushrooms cook for a minute, pour on the egg mixture, covering the mushrooms and the entire pan. Once you've done that, feel free to lower the heat a little bit too so the eggs don't burn. Let the eggs sit for a minute, then go ahead and begin to scramble them. I like to wait a bit before scrambling the eggs since I think the texture turns out better. Also, if you're new to cooking, just know that eggs usually don't take that long to get ready. You're going to want to keep an eye on them so they don't get too dry. Once you've scrambled the eggs around for a bit, lower your heat if you haven't already, as to not burn the eggs, and add in the tomatoes. The point of adding the tomatoes to the pan isn't really to cook them, I just like to pop them in with the eggs real quick to bring out their flavor and heat them up. Same goes for the spinach, which I put on maybe 30 seconds after the tomatoes to prevent it from losing its shape. After the spinach has cooked for a couple minutes, turn off the heat and grab your tortillas. Place a tortilla on the plate and scoop up about half of the burrito mixture and place it on top. Once you've done that, fold in the sides and the bottom and flip it around to get your burrito. Folding it can take some practice, so feel free to turn it into a taco for the sake of convenience. And with that, you now have a delicious breakfast burrito waiting for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for cooking with me today, and let me know if you end up making this yourself. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!